Biden's new rule for homeowners that's going to affect tomorrow is all about equity.
We need to make equity and justice part of what we do every day.
The Biden-Harris administration has made racial equity a centerpiece of our economic agenda.
Please do work with us to put equity at the center of our collective response.
He stood to run on equity and inclusion, and he has shown that throughout his administration.
So these are investments that are going to be to the benefit of U.S. economic strength writ large, as well as representing a measure of justice and equity to communities that have been harmed.
Well, the new rule will require first-time home buyers with good credit to pay more a month than those with poor credit. Makes sense. So why is the Biden administration punishing people who pay their bills? Equity, of course. Todd, this is un-American. You have a mortgage, right? You got some kids now. You work hard here. You're up at what time every day? 2:30?
I get up way earlier than that.
Really?
I get up the other side of the clock. I get up in the 11:30 range.
You always prep well for that show, and now I know why. 6 hours before you go on. The point is you work hard, you pay your bills, you play by the rules, and this is what's going to happen. How do you feel about that?
It's annoying, and it's horrific. It is un-American. This is an administration that consistently gives the shaft to those who are responsible, who do the right things, and it rewards people who do the exact opposite. Look what it does with criminals. It is incentivizing criminals by not having any consequences to them. It's giving drugs to the individuals in Portland and other. Now, I know it's not directly them, but they're getting some funds vis-a-vis the federal government. And you just look at across the board. If we don't incentivize good behavior, but instead incentivize bad behavior, what are going to be the consequences to our country? And you shouldn't be shocked at this, because when you look at Joe Biden and how he handles the federal bank account, he's spending like a drunken sailor now. Why doesn't he think that people who spend like drunken sailors should themselves not be rewarded? He wants those people rewarded, and it's just going to lead to a ridiculous debt cycle that in 30 to 40 years, our kids and our grandkids are going to have to pay for.
Precisely. We're rewarding people who are not being responsible in terms of their budgeting in their households. And let's take a look, by the way, at the new mortgage fee structure. This is interesting. If you have a 620 FICO score, that's like a fair score, you get a 1.75% fee discount. But if you're at 740, which is a very good FICO score, then you're paying a 1% fee. Nicole, I'm old enough to remember 2008 and what caused the Great Recession at that time. It was primarily the housing market and imploding as a result of us giving loans, the government, giving loans to people who could not pay them back, and it took down the entire economy. I would think we would have learned from that, but it doesn't appear to be happening here.
It doesn't. Listen, I'm all for trying to help people who otherwise need a little bit of assistance when they're trying to buy a home. Maybe they're just getting out of college, they're trying to put together a family, and they don't have the income. But I don't think that it should come at the expense of other people. I don't think that those who do have good credit scores or who have been able to keep their debt down, that they shouldn't be paying higher rates when other people who maybe haven't been able to do the same are paying lower rates. I mean, this is actually the Affordable Care Act of the mortgage system. You are taking out the whole risk-based pricing. Usually, when you go and get a loan from a bank, you go and get health insurance, the higher the risk you are, the higher the potential fees and the interest rate's going to be, because you are risky, and that's the way it should be. What this is doing is taking us more towards socialism, and that works for many countries. The United States has always rejected that, and this will be something that should be weighed heavily in the ballots, because they are trying to take us in their talk of equity to a more socialistic state.
Absolutely. And Kennedy, I want to get your reaction to Mark Tepper, the well-dressed friend of ours from Fox Business, or on Fox Business often, Strategic Wealth Partners CEO, on the economic impact of rewarding bad behavior.
This is socialism for homeowners. This Biden administration, more and more often, they are making decisions to reward bad decisions. And that's not the way you grow as a country, as an economy. Essentially saying, hey, if you spent recklessly, you lived above your means, and you stopped making your payments on time, have no fear, someone who's done it the right way is going to pay for you.
Final word, Kennedy.
Well, this is not a zero-sum proposition, meaning if someone has good credit, it doesn't mean that someone else has bad credit, and that's how this is being treated. Karine Jean-Pierre reveals her hand when she talks about the collective, and that is another term for socialism. But essentially what you're looking at is people who work really hard, and Mark Tepper's absolutely right. It's not how much wealth you have, it's how you pay your bills on time, and it's whether or not you were able to live within your means and not overspend. therefore not being delinquent on some of your accounts, and you are rewarded for that with a higher credit score, which makes it easier to acquire capital and buy more things like a house in the future. You know what lenders want? They want people who are responsible because they don't want to be in the real estate business. Bank of America doesn't want a bunch of homes if people default on their mortgages. They want to make sure that people who have those mortgages can pay for them. So how do you do that? You abide by an algorithm like the FICO score system, so you know that people have a responsible track record in the past. And again, a good credit score is sacred. At least it used to be. But if I'm being punished for that, then I may just go ahead and tank it so I can get a better home loan now.
And we've seen this movie from this administration before, right? The overall theme around student loans, for example. Let's say you're a waitress or you're a blue-collar guy working in a coal mine somewhere. You don't get forgiveness on all the loans that you made. But if you're somebody who has a master's degree, well, we'll take care of 10,000 of your loans. Anyway, we're out of time.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.